Hey y'all, welcome back to Fire and Water Cooking. I'm Darren, of course, and today I'm going to do another different type of video. I know this is a cooking channel normally, shows me cooking food, barbecue and sous vide, but I love to cruise and my wife loves to cruise, and we just got back from another great cruise. This was on the newest ship of Carnival Celebration out of Miami. We did an 8-day cruise to Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, and it was awesome. We had some amazing food. Since it is one of the newer ships of Carnival, it's got some great food options. And I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of them here just to kind of show you. It's still not all of them, but it's a good amount of decent variety of types of food that they have on the Carnival Celebration if you go, including the chef's table, which is a very exclusive event that you can sign up for. Only 16 people a night. They have them usually 5 or 6 nights out of a 7-day cruise. They'll have the chef's table. So I'm going to go through this really quick, show you some of the meals that we had, some of the food that we had, and I hope you guys like this video. I'll be back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from Fire and Water.
Alright guys, so like I said, we had an 8-day cruise on the Carnival Celebration, and if you looked at one of my last videos, we did have the Presidential Suite. We booked this over a year ago. We got a super special deal on it. We did not pay full price for sure, but we were excited to get the Presidential Suite that has a huge outdoor deck for its own, and we ordered room service one day, and this is what we got. I'll show you. So check this out guys, this was something my son's fiance ordered. It's a sausage, egg, and cheese muffin, and look at that thing. Look how big that is. It was pretty awesome. She could only eat about a quarter of it. It is so big, but this comes from room service, guys. When you get the Excel suites on the Carnival ships, you get room service included, so check that out. And check out this sandwich, guys. This is fried chicken, fried egg, and cheese on sourdough bread. This is what my son ordered. And this, look at this size of this thing. It fills up the whole plate. It's so big. Like I said, this is from room service, guys, and it is top of the line. And it was pretty awesome. He could only eat half of this. He saved half for later. It's so big. Well, last but not least, guys, this is what I got. This was just a regular bacon, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. But as you can tell, it was still pretty good sized. Filled me up no problem with these awesome hash browns on the side. So if you got a chance, order room service. They charge a little bit for it now, but it's worth it. Alright guys, one of my favorite places to eat on the Celebration, and was also on the Mardi Gras last year when I went, is Emeril's Bistro. Both of these ships have an Emeril's, and I think the newest ship, Jubilee, is going to have one as well. And they just named Emeril Lagasse their main chef de cuisine for all of Carnival Cruise Line. So the first thing I got here was the Bodine sausage balls here, and they were actually really good. All of Emeril's food at the Emeril's Bistros is an upcharge, but it's worth it. It goes from $3 for red beans and rice up to about $12 or $15 for some of the bigger portion stuff. But guys, check them out. It's really good. These were, I think, only $5. And for breakfast, guys, check out the shrimp and grits and the shrimp etouffee omelet with sweet potato fries. Awesome. The shrimp and grits is some of the best I've ever had. And it's really, I think this was like $6 or $8 for that big bowl. It had about 8 shrimp in it. Really good stuff at Emeril's. A couple other things, guys, for breakfast. This is a sweet potato waffle with strawberries and butter, powdered sugar. Totally awesome. I think it had a pecan maple syrup with it. Just out of this world, guys. Everything at Emeril's is top of notch. Also, brioche French toast here. Very thick, very, very sweet. Again, with a nice maple syrup, strawberry compote, butter, powdered sugar. The beignets were awesome. I don't think I got a picture of the beignets, but we got those one day as well. Another thing now that's synonymous with most Carnival ships, I think the Guy's Fieri's burger joint is on pretty much all the Carnival ships. It may not be on some of the smaller, older ones, but to me, it's the best burger I've ever had on a cruise ship. They start out with a smash burger, of course, with some super melty cheese, and you can get bacon on it, you can get onion ring on it, you get barbecue sauce, and they got a burger condiment bar that you can put just about anything you want on it, and the fries are out of this world as well. One of my new favorites that are on these new boats, it's on the Mardi Gras celebration and the Jubilee that's coming out, is Shaq's Big Chicken. And it is probably the best chicken sandwich I've seen out there, even comparing it to Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. It's actually really good stuff. They got chicken tenders, they've got chicken sandwiches, they have breakfast as well, a couple different things for breakfast, but overall, and the fries are really awesome. They're different, they're shaved, really thin, if you can see in this picture right here. And their biscuits are kind of really dense biscuits, which is, I kind of like a dense biscuit every once in a while. But the sandwiches are outrageous. They have a couple different sandwiches. This one here is a sandwich that I got. It's got ham, egg, cheese, all kinds of different stuff on it. And that's some of their homemade slaw that's on there as well. Great stuff. Another cool concept they have on these new boats, guys, on the celebration, the Mardi Gras, and the Jubilee. It's a little place called Street Eats. It's right on the Lido, right next to the Seafood Shack. And they have 3 different little outlets, and each one is a little different. One is called Mad Sizzle, that has kebabs and different kinds of Middle Eastern type foods. Another one called Time Fries, which has French fries with different toppings on them. They change every day. And another one called Steam Dream, which has got a bunch of different kinds of dumplings. And like I said, the menu on all these places changes every day. They're only open select times, usually during the lunchtime, usually on C days. But when you're on there, you check out the Street Eats, because they're little finger foods. They're not going to fill you up, and you can get different things pretty much every day on it. It's a really cool concept, and I ate there a couple times in the week. A new restaurant that was introduced to the new ships here of the celebration, the Mardi Gras and the Jubilee, is called Chabang, and it's a mixture of Chinese and Mexican entrees. Now, they're not mixed together. It's not really fusion. They have 2 separate menus. One is the Asian type menu, and one is a Mexican or Latin American type menu. This is a Hakka noodles. This here is beef and broccoli. So they have more traditional type, Chinese recipes and more traditional Mexican type recipes. So the food there was really good. And the good thing about these new ships is they include it in your in your meals. These are free. These are included. This is Singapore shrimp. So you got, besides the main dining room and the Lido Deck Buffet, you have this restaurant Chabang, and you also have the Italian restaurant Cucina del Capitano, that are included in your cruise fare. These were one of my favorite appetizers. They are shrimp pot stickers, and I think I ordered about 4 plates of these. One of the good things about these restaurants being included, you get such a great variety and different things that you can try. Like I said, these are one of my favorites. Lettuce wraps, also really good. And they give them to you in littler portions so that you can try and sample different things, so you don't get filled up on just eating, a whole bunch of 1 or 2 different things. So I like these concept restaurants, and I like that they're included in your cruise fare. And the food there was awesome. This is a main entree my son ordered. It was a Mexican-style fried fish. He said it was absolutely the best fried fish he's ever had. So as you can see, they got some different stuff. So it's not just tacos and burritos and fried rice. It's very good gourmet stuff. My daughter had about 6 plates of these. They are chicken spring rolls, and they were really good, really fresh. But like I said, she got a bunch of these, and that's the good thing. Like I said, you can try all these varieties. This was one of my favorites on the Mexican side of the menu, was chicken mole, and it was actually really good. I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was, but it was fantastic. Totally different. Not something you'll see every day in a Mexican restaurant, but included in your fare. Awesome place to go. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite restaurants on any of the Carnival ships is the Bonsai Sushi. And then these newer ships, the Mardi Gras Celebration and the Jubilee, they have a full sit-down restaurant for their sushi and a full menu. It always amazes me the quality that they give you and the quantity they give you. Even though there's an upcharge for the sushi, it's well worth it. You guys, if you can look at that big spicy tuna roll, that right there is only like $6 or $8 for that big roll. So I've paid that much more than that for smaller rolls on shore here. The sushi boat here, I think maybe it was $16 for a sushi boat for two. That included 2 different kinds of rolls, all the different kinds of regular sushi, salad, soup, and it was just amazing. This is a teriyaki shrimp roll. Like I said, the quality of the sushi always amazes me. They have some other options as well. I didn't get everything on the menu, but they did have these yakitori skewers that I got. I think they were $2 each, which was really reasonable, and they were delicious, guys. Check out the Bonsai Sushi on any of the ships you go on, but especially these new ships. All right, guys, and this is Casino del Capitano, which is the Italian restaurant on board. And like I said, on the Mardi Gras, the celebration, the Jubilee, these are included. Now, they do have these on some other ships, but they are an extra cost, but they're not very much cost. But on the celebration here, this was included. This is mussels and clams. This was Mama's meatball, and it was a good-sized meatball. It wasn't huge, but just enough for an appetizer to get a taste. And that's one of the things I like about these restaurants is they don't give you huge portions, so you can actually try different entrees, different appetizers, different desserts. This was a shrimp entree that my wife got. She said was amazing. Had some potatoes, grilled shrimp with all these different sauces on it. A little bit of pasta there underneath as well. But like I said, none of the entrees will overfill you, so you can actually try different ones. And of course, here's the classic caprese salad with buffalo mozzarella, some olive oil, tomatoes, olives, a little bit of seasoning on top of that as well. This here was my veal marsala, and those little things that look like scallops there was polenta, and it was nice and crunchy and creamy. Had a nice Parmesan on top of it. It was pretty awesome. I think that was one of my favorite dishes. This was also a really good one, 12-hour cooked short rib. It was very super tender, fell apart. Nice Parmesan crust on top with a chimichurri to go with it. But all the food that we had in this restaurant was top quality, top notch, and it was all included in your cruise fare. Here's a chicken parmigiana that was so thin, it was paper thin, you can just cut it, so tender. A little bit of pasta underneath it, perfect mozzarella on top, and no complaints whatsoever with any of the food that came out of this restaurant. This is one of the desserts we got, which is like a frozen lemon icebox cake that my wife and my son's fiance just said that they'd eat about 20 of those in one sitting. So everything was so great. Check out the Casino del Capitano. All right, guys, to be honest with you, I did not eat at the Toledo Buffet, but just a few times, mostly for just quick lunches, grab something. This here was a shawarma that I got. It was pretty good. They also had some good sausages and hot dogs. This was a Polska kielbasa and a pretzel bun with spicy mustard and pickled red onion. It was pretty good. And like I said, you don't have to eat at the Lido if you don't want to at all, because there's so many different choices on this boat. But for grab and go stuff, I did a few times. This was one morning we grabbed something at the Lido just as we were going to an excursion. I got some quick eggs Benedict. And you can also get the breakfast burritos at the Blue Iguana if you want as well. But you don't have to eat at the buffet if you don't want to. All right, so Sea Day Brunch in the main dining room. We kind of like doing these at least 2 or 3 times during the cruise, because you can get some cool stuff that you can't get on the buffet or anywhere else. Of course, these are omelets here. It was potatoes. This is a 12-hour brioche French toast that I like to get, that they have on the Sea Day Brunch. It's very, very tasty, and you can't really get it anywhere else. There's also steak and eggs. My son likes to get steak and eggs as well, and we got a couple days, and They usually do it up pretty well. Even when you want to get your eggs cooked a certain way, I ordered these over easy, and you can tell they were done pretty good. I mean, they weren't overcooked, and they were still hot when they served them up. So that's one of the things I worry about in the main dining room, is getting hot food. Chicken and waffles, this was also really good. The fried chicken was awesome. I really had no complaints whatsoever about the food on the C-Day brunch at all. And like I said, we really like doing the C-Day brunch when we can. My son got these huevos rancheros, which is something that's only served at C-Day brunch as well. So you can get some pretty cool stuff, and like I said, the food is always really good for that. And for being in the main dining room, the food was always really hot when it got there. And my wife got a cheese omelet one day because that's what she was in the mood for. So cool things like that on C-Day brunch. We always like to do that. All right, so the next main dining room dinner. Okay, so we ate at the main dining room a couple nights. Both of the elegant nights, of course, because these we got are the fried oysters. My daughter and son love these. We usually get a few orders of these because they're so good and tasty. Also, the calamari, when they have the calamari in the main dining room, we always tend to go because it's one of our favorites as well. And we always get a couple orders of these, no matter what, because they're good. They come out nice and crispy. The crab cakes. Okay, the first formal night, they had these crab cakes as an appetizer, and they were amazing. I think we got about 4 each of these, and we really couldn't eat our main course. Stuffed mushrooms, we got one as well. This was one of the appetizers for one of the formal nights. It was awesome. So we ate maybe 3 nights in the main dining room, and there was 2 formal nights and 1 regular night. This was pork belly tarts that was really good as well. I've had these before on other ships, and like I said, they always turn out really well. Prime rib, of course, was on one of the formal nights as well. Perfectly cooked medium rare, horseradish sauce, loaded baked potato, just a couple pieces of broccoli to make you feel good like you're eating vegetables. And of course, top of the piece de resistance is lobster night. Also one of the formal nights. And one of the bad things, since they've got some budget cutbacks, is they only allow you to get 2 lobster tails now. They used to be able to get as many as you wanted, but this is one of my wife's favorites. It's the sweet and sour shrimp, which is always good, with fried rice in the main dining room. So we do like to eat in the main dining room occasionally, but since you have all the other options, you don't need to. This is my favorite dessert. It's also on one of the formal nights. It is the souffle with Grand Marnier. All right, pizza and sandwiches. I ate pizza a couple times, not as much as I used to on these ships. Since there's so much variety, I only had the opportunity to eat pizza once or twice, usually at night. I did get a sandwich one day for lunch when the family was out doing something else. I think they were going to get burritos, and I really didn't want a burrito, so I got this nice sandwich. And on the Celebration and the Mardi Gras, the pizza place and the sandwich place are right next to each other on one of the, I think, deck 8. All right, guys, on this cruise, we did the chef's table again. I've done these 2 or 3 times before, and they're amazing. If you haven't done the chef's table on any of the Carnival ships, you really need to. It's something special. It does cost about $100, maybe $80 to $90 a person, but it's well worth it. You get a custom-made menu, pictures, all the wine you can drink with dinner, and this is the menu. I mean, it's a lot of food, and it's all, very chefy. You start out with some petit-fours and a mouche-bouche, as you would say, with a champagne toast. You get several different types of, I wouldn't even call them appetizers, just more of small little pieces of food like this that are all edible. This was salmon with capers and pickled onion and some kind of rice paper. That this whole thing was edible, and you just put the whole thing in your mouth. This here is the same way. It everything is very well put together, detailed. All has a lot of flavor to it. You start out and you get 3 or 4 of these little things with your while you're standing kind of in the kitchen. Then they do a demonstration of how to make chocolate melting cake, and you kind of get to see the back room of the kitchen where they're making a lot of the food for the main dining rooms and other areas of the ship. But it's just a really awesome experience. Like I said, you get all these different flavors and different types of food that you probably would never see or eat anywhere else. This here was like white chocolate with mushroom powder and stuff. Very, very amazing. Then they walk you back into a private room where they do the rest of the meal. And then you can actually, like I said, they give red or white wine, all you can drink with the meal. It takes about 3 to 3.5 hours to do the whole meal because they serve it in sections. So about 8 courses altogether, if you include the appetizer part that they do. This here, and they serve them in presentations like this. This box was actually had our sourdough bread starter in there, and this was a red wine sourdough. The honey butter made into a rose. It was pretty. Everything is heavily detailed. These are beer battered steak fries that they served in a whisk like this with some fresh rosemary, dried rosemary, and it actually went with this dish here, which is steak tartare with all kinds of different mushroom powder and mushrooms and capers, and you put this on top of your steak fries and kind of serve that with it. This is your salad, which had a smoke balloon with rosemary smoke, and the dressing is underneath that bubble. And what you do is you pop the bubble and you push all the vegetables into the center, and you have a garlic aioli that the vegetables are sitting on top of, and that's your salad and salad dressing. So very cool experience. Everything was super fresh, super detailed. These were Parmesan and I can't remember what else, but they were beignets that were super soft, and they went with another dish that you'll see in a minute. This was a piece of lamb that was herb crusted with white asparagus with black garlic on it. This was black cod served with white asparagus on top of tomato and apricot jam. Everything was just so detailed and delicious. This was a short rib as well with shallots and a crispy onion with a nice reduction served over the top of it. This shrimp was served just sliced open on the top, steamed, had a nice sweet potato next to it there, and there's with your Parmesan beignets. This was one of the desserts where they actually poured some warm milk into the bottom, and those petals opened up like a flower, and it was a nice cake with the chocolate and white sauce. And then this was the final dessert, which was all little I call them little pedophores, but they're all like little solid chocolate and all different kinds of flavors. But I tell you what, we were so full after this, it was amazing. So if you ever tried the chef's table, I highly recommend it. Well, that's it, guys, for the Carnival celebration food video. That's not everything I ate, and it's not everything they have on the boat, but I think that's enough just to give you an idea of all the different food options you have on these big new Carnival cruise ships. So thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook. I'll get back to cooking here soon. So thanks for watching, and follow us on, like I said, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you on the next Fire and Water cooking video.